So, thank you for inviting us to this event. My name is Carla Ruiz, and I come from ACCIO. I work at the International R&D and Innovation Unit, and my main or our main activity is to assess SMEs and entities and Catalan entities to access to European funds, mainly in my case in the health and in the agri-food sector. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about opportunities that are under the current and the present European framework program for research and innovation, for talk about what's coming next, and then to talk about what or how we can help you and your companies and our companies to find the best opportunities at European level to cover all the business needs. So you probably all of you know that Horizon 2020 is the present European framework program for research and innovation, and it has almost 80 billion euros of funding available over 7 years. And what kind of programs, projects does it cover? So this program covers all kind of projects from TRL 1 to TRL 7, with the main purpose to bring innovation to the market at the end of the project. So there are calls focused on this stage, which the Commission call RIAs, Research and Innovation Actions, and then calls in this at this level, which the Commission calls innovation actions. And there are three different ways of participation under this program. One is the most common scheme, the collaborative one, and companies and entities have to participate in a consortium of at least three different legal entities from three different regions or countries. Then, there are calls just for SMEs, and then there are calls like Technosprint just for talent and researchers. So Horizon 2020 is putting emphasis in three main priorities: excellent science, industrial leadership, and societal challenge. So the agri-food sector is under this priority, the societal challenge too. In this sense, this topic has received 4 billion euros since the start of the program, and it it covers, I thought it was another slide. Okay, so it covers three main priorities: sustainable food security, blue growth, and rural areas, with different goals, focusing on research management, the research in oceans, and bioeconomy. So at this point, I have bad news and good news. The bad ones are that calls for this year are already closed, but the good news is that next 4th of July in Brussels, the Commission is organizing the Info Day of the new calls for 2020 in this topic. So here you have some figures and some numbers about the performance of Catalan entities under this topic. Numbers are quite well, but if we compare this number and this performance with the total results of the sector, it's important to say that Catalan has received more than 2% of the total European contribution under this topic. So now it's the time, because it's still, the Commission has a budget for the 2020 calls, and we have the perfect environment to do this. And this is another instrument, but just focus on SMEs. SMEs has the opportunity to present and submit their projects into this financial instrument, but not all of kind of SMEs, just SMEs with a disruptive and scalable solution and with a prototype. SMEs that are really close to market. This instrument has two different phases. The phase one is just to validate their idea or their business idea. And then the second one is for the development of the projects. Budgets are different. In Catalonia, we are doing really well. We have more than 200 SMEs already receiving funding from this program. And here we have the different deadlines for the next calls. Phase one is going to disappear, so the last opportunity is next September, but phase two still continues until 2020. And what's next, or what's coming next? The Horizon Europe. So the Horizon Europe will be the next European framework program for research and innovation. It will have 100 billion euros of funding available over 7 years. It will start in 2021 and it will finish in 2027. So the agri-food topic will be under the second priority. So the scheme is really similar to the Horizon 2020 or the current program, but there are some difference. At the end of this year, probably we will have more information about the scheme. And now here you have two other schemes of funding. Some European funded projects are allowed to open calls or to launch open calls to other entities. So this is another mechanism that the Commission calls Cascade Funding. So there are a lot of them, and there are good opportunities for our entities and our companies to receive funds. So here you have one example for the food industry and then for the photonic industry. Like I think the cluster is here in this program. And then this is what we do. We advise our companies and we organize information events and dissemination events. We also organize training courses regarding management and project management, and then our main activity is on partnering search. ACCIO is a coordinator member of the Enterprise Europe Network, and we have access to their partner search database. So our activity is mainly focused on this kind of activity. We also organize brokerage events, and now we are organizing two of them related to the agri-food sector. The first one will take place in 2 weeks here in Barcelona in the framework of the Free From Fruit Expo. And then the second one, I think it's the most important one, we are co-organizers of the brokerage event that will take place during the same days that the Info Days will be celebrated in Brussels. So this brokerage event is very, very, very important because it will be just focused on searching partners for the for European calls. And this is our team. We are specialized in different sectors, and here you have our contact details. So if we rest at your disposal, and thanks for listening.